when last we left off, you all had gone to Navern, where you had to talk to some folks about some data. And so you talked to one cyborg dude about what was going on, which led you to having to talk to a different cyborg dude in a fashion. So nice.
That's a very broad stroke summary, but yeah.
What was the last thing you remember we were doing?
Oh, we were in the room with the indispensable man, and or we had just left. I can't decide if we had just left because there was a bit of hemming and hawing and debating about how we were going to deal with that guy. But Bill had presented our capacity for being able to help them to the point where we managed to convince the guy that we were better off alive than dead and better off with access to the stuff he didn't want to have access to. And we want to try to figure out some way of getting the data blocks that we need out of that guy's hot little hands with some stuff up for debate as to how much effort we need to put into the fact that the backup is going to take like a gazillion flipping years and doesn't seem to be working very well and is overriding the data that we
the override move was to go inspect the system and see if we can
fix that. Yeah. What was the deal? Like, usually, okay, I'm a little hazy on this. Do they always back up the governors? Or did he just decide to back up because there was something wrong with him and he didn't want to lose his information? Or he decided he needed the backup because his information was especially important because he's indispensable? Is he just special, or...
As far as you can tell, based on Carter's reaction to this entire thing, this is way outside the table for him, to use the analogy we were just going with.
Sure, this is just not... Like, he just decided that he was special, personally.
He's using the homebrew he rolled up last night.
Yep. He has definitely gone beyond the scope of his position here.
I see. So he's decided that this isn't like some sort of like, I have, through no fault of my own, come to the entirely objective conclusion that I am indispensable and need to have my shit backed up, as opposed to just go sleepy time and we'll call you when we decide that we need you. Got you. All right. That clarifies a bit, but it's an awkward question to ask when you're standing right in front of the guy.
No.
Is he actually important or is he just an asshole? God, the number of times I want to ask that at work. Anyway.
The other thing that came up, like at the very end last time, was that he was still tied into everybody's network, or he was able to, even though we hadn't been able to see into him, he was still able to see at least the rest of the stuff going on here at NAB.
He was sort of a proto-Lincoln, right? I think that's how Mike described it.
Yep. He has control of this room and everything outside of it, as far as Navarin's concerned. Carter has control of everything outside this room, as far as Navarin's concerned. So, this is definitely troubling and asymmetrical as far as he's concerned.
Especially since we know there are gun turrets involved.
Yes.
Say that again. The guy inside the room has control just over inside the room?
And everything else.
Yeah.
And so does Carter outside the room?
Yeah, so Carter has
the guy
control
inside the room. Go ahead.
I was just going to say. So, Carter's like a power user. He was given control of all these things.
Yeah.
Paxton is the admin. He has control of everything, including the things that Carter doesn't.
And he has just largely decided not to exercise that outside of this room for the purposes of secrecy, but that secrecy is now gone, so who knows what the hell he's going to do.
Yes.
Super.
Remember, he probably knows how to lip read too, so
I don't know, maybe that half of his...
Don't do that Hal routine.
Maybe that half of his brain is somewhere else right now.
Yeah, super.
Quick, right. Speak entirely in linguistic drift.
That's easy for Earl.
That's just how I talk. What are you talking about? I ain't drifting.
All right. So, where do we want to pick up here? Do we want to pick up still in that room, or do you guys want to have
I say we pick up 6 months later as we're heading towards the gate, having solved all the problems.
Man, it would be really easy if that's how this worked. Certainly is not.
I think picking up outside the room is good because then we can kind of get down to brass tacks about what the next move is.
Yep. So, barring anything else, like a small admin office, like nearby that the cutoff section from the rest of the facility, not like all the way back at the administrator's office, but just like a
Yeah.
substation, the break room.
Is Carter with us?
Yes.
Did he come down? Can you
Yeah.
can he verify that where we're standing isn't in like camera arcs?
Well, he would like to. He would really like to, but apparently he has learned many things today, especially that he can't trust many of the things he thought about this place.
To the best of his knowledge, can we stand someplace that isn't under like direct surveillance?
Well, we can always go outside.
Outside is definitely an option. You know,
So
I would
we'll get back
say,
inside.
if you guys want to, this would be a perfect time to face danger using shadow.
Ooh, who's good at shadow? Am I good at shadow? I don't know.
Is anyone good at shadow?
Earl has never been a sneaky fellow. Maybe I am. I don't know. I can't remember where I put it. Seems probably.
I was like, not likely for me, but I will check also.
No, my shadow is terrible. I'm not a sneaky
Um,
person.
I'm
You're
gonna
a
tell you
sneaky
this, boy.
bastard,
Shadow's
but not a
terrible.
sneaky person.
Earl is the best at shadow out
What?
of the entire group.
Earl has a 1.
You're equally as good as everyone else. You're all the best.
So you're also the worst. Yeah.
We are the sneakiest people. I'm the sneakiest person on the team. Tied
Tip.
for
To be
Forward.
fair, you were sent out for a diplomatic mission.
yeah.
You know, lying to the people that you're trying to gain the trust of probably was not high on their rec list.
That's entirely fair, and yeah, I personally am not a sneaky person. I don't have the patience for stealth class, so.
Hang on a second. Is
But you know, face danger. What I'm hearing though, more importantly, is anybody can roll because we're all equally skilled at finding a place that isn't under direct supervision. It's fine. I was just reflecting on the fact that Margie hasn't gotten in a fight, so if this guy decides to come after us.
I mean,
there
that
was
certainly.
something like
Oh, okay. Yeah, this spot here looks good.
All right. Well,
I don't see any cameras.
good news, bad news here, Earl.
Yeah.
You can find a place in order to do it.
Yeah.
In order to do it, somebody is going to have to actively, continually activate the motion control on the camera.
distracted in another direction.
Uh-huh.
So you're saying that that Nails is going to work on their jumping jacks?
Yep. And it's going to be
Think
Probably
calisthenics
slightly-
and-
and normally this would be Earl who would take the suffer move, but I'm gonna say
No.
whoever winds up being to the
I got a better one.
uh-huh.
Nails and I are gonna spar.
Gonna
That-
take a punch.
Yeah. That's how I take this up.
All right. That
Wha-
is
How much?
it is suffer 1, so
Suffer 1.
yep.
Throw my
And you
health.
can even try to roll it.
Well, I'm marking it. I mark it down 1, and then I roll my suffer. Right?
You can roll your suffer.
I choose to roll my suffer.
Yep. So it's roll
Health
plus,
after plus
plus
health.
health or iron, whichever's better.
Well, iron is almost as good as my shadow, so I'm gonna roll health after it's been debited. So I'll take a weak hit. Weak hit.
On a weak hit, so you can lose 1 momentum to gain back that health.
How good am I feeling about that? Let me look.
You're at 2 momentum.
I'm at 2 momentum. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm feeling good about the fact that we managed to keep people busy a little bit. So, although it took, momentum-wise, it takes me completely out of the conversation, which is why my momentum's going down because I don't know the plan. So my momentum's down, but I'm still feeling pretty good in general, just about the fact that this probably worked. Outsmarted the little bugger. So on and so
That
forth.
you did.
So I'll do that. So yeah, momentum to 1, health to 5. I definitely need a good recover spirit maneuver at some point, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so that kind of leaves, unfortunately, well, I say unfortunately, it's fine for them, but unfortunately not involved in the conversation, but can kind of talk with what's his name, and Blaze and Cortex can kind of talk to our somewhat shooken host and see if we can get together some kind of plan. So carry on, gentlemen, while Nels punches me repeatedly in the face.
All right. So you guys are in the clear as far as monitoring goes. Yeah. What do you do?
Can we cut off his power?
Yes. In fact, you know exactly where to do it at.
I'm trying to think of the downsides of doing that, aside from like maybe killing him.
He might have.
I will give you. I will give you several bits of possible downside. Not saying you can't do it without getting around some of these. It just is going to make the whole thing more difficult on your end. All right, you can cut the power. Complications that can occur is Paxton dies. I'll leave that up to you on that particular, on how you feel about that one. 2, whatever the chair is doing, or the pod is doing with the data banks, may lead to corruption over some of the data that's on them, and possibly, if bad enough, could also lead to losing some of that data. Also, there's no idea of how much that Paxton has built himself into this, or how long that he may have any sort of reserve power. So therein lies your possible downsides, and I'll tell you, some of those might be minor complications, and some of those are definitely the oh no, really bad things have now occurred. The really bad one is, oh no, you've cut power. He still has some backup power, and he still has full control of the building. Enjoy.
And those guns.
Well, okay, I guess maybe one question, and Cortex may have a better idea of this than I do. I mean, is his data feed into the rest of the building tied in with, running down the same conduit, same channel as the power?
Probably not. It is most likely some sort of
Wire.
Distributed method for all the different data to flow as it does. That's not to say that you guys couldn't come up with some method in order to cut off just his data and then proceed with the rest of the plan, but that would be 2 steps.
Does Cortex have any brilliant ideas of getting the data out safely?
Well, yeah, I was working on that until you all suspicious people decided that we had to go figure out how to rig up a kill switch. I need to siphon the data off of those systems, and maybe we can just go do that.
I'm down with it.
So, GM question.
Yes.
What kind of guns were those that he had?
I'm going to say that they're, while remaining sci-fi, those are probably like anti-personnel guns. They
Shooting what kind of?
Yeah.
I'll give you. I'll jump to the end of where I want to go with this to make it easier on you. I'm sorry.
Yes.
There's multiple possibilities. Either these are kinetic weapons or they're not. If they're kinetic weapons, there's a propellant involved. The propellant is either going to be electromagnetic in case of like a railgun or a Gauss gun type thing, or it's going to be chemical. If it's chemical, there's a distinct possibility that the chemicals have broken down and those guns will just no longer fire.
Yes. From a reasonable standpoint, yes.
Okay.
From a threat standpoint, no, they wouldn't have.
Okay. So how safe do I feel with what I know about the guns that he was pointing at us?
We're gonna say it's probably like some sort of like electromagnetic, mini railgun sort of situation.
Okay. Am I reasonable in saying that is not the sort of thing that can be fed from a battery backup meant to keep computers running?
Probably not.
Okay. So if we cut his power, the guns are useless.
Yes.
Okay. I will inform my comrades of this and say if you're really worried about this, cut the mains. Rail guns can probably not shoot that well off of like a 9-volt.
Yeah. That tracks.
Yeah, just like the guns.
Nah.
That was a poor joke, Dave, but it was still very good.
Thank you. I think of the 3 things that were discussed there. I mean, if his having reserve power doesn't mean he can still kill us. I'm less worried about the data cubes being corrupted, if only because they're being overwritten anyway. So,
I'm under the impression that those particular cubes are key elements in stuff that we need to be doing. Is that accurate?
Yes, based on what you had learned previously, yeah, they get some important data.
Gotcha.
All right, so let's stop wasting time talking about it and go get those cubes backed up.
I'm just reenacting the punch to the face gif over and over again.
All right, so where do we want to start?
So, I mean, from Cortex's perspective, the goal is get the existing data off those cubes as quickly and expediently as possible. If Patchen is not cooperative, after all the conversation we've had with him, we'll negotiate that. But really, like, plugging that thing in is where I want to get first.
All right. So
The question might come up, where do we put the data that we're downloading? If we don't have any spare capacity in the local systems, we can pipe it into the shuttle.
all right, it's probably going to take a little bit of jury rigging in order to get that to work.
Conveniently,
I will rig the jury.
Conveniently, I have been trying to get cabling up out of this area up to a beam dish, MBDDS dish, to beam high bandwidth data. So if I finish that, that should give us a way of getting this up and out of here, and even getting it up to our ship, really, logically.
Yeah, sure.
But that's all part of getting the other two colonies on track with these guys in terms of data access. So it serves two masters, and I can do the thing. That gives us a channel for getting the data out of here. I will proceed with doing that.
All right. So, Dice, do you remember where you were with that?
I needed to do a back over to my character sheet.
Yeah, you are almost finished with that.
I had I had a I had done the gather information sort of thing and kind of figured out basically what I needed to do. I just needed to actually like do the actual hardwiring of things, which I think was I wanted to say it was like a face danger, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was probably like a face danger with a witch roll, most likely.
Probably, and if I remember right, I had I might have an asset that goes to that. When you face danger, to cobble together an ad hoc tool, device, envision what you intend to create. I'm not sure that exactly fits. Maybe it does. Well, face danger to cobble together. I mean, yeah.
I'm gonna say yes.
On a hit, okay, so envision what you intend to create. On a hit, you may add +1 when making the move aided by the item. See, I already did this.
Well, you did that in order to track down the power.
Right. So I've got the +1 floating around. Oh, that's right. Now I've got the other thing. So this isn't the one where I'm cobbling a device. This is just me trying to get the actual thing done, which is where Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so you had cobbled together a device to a different purpose last time.
Yes, exactly.
Which was to track down that. So this would be really you cobbling together a different device.
Gotcha. Which is fine.
And I would say getting that device would not just help you with that,
but with the other.
But would also probably help everybody else with roles attributed to getting the data.
Nice. Okay, in that case, I will face danger to cobble together an ad hoc tool or thing. I do not get a bonus on this roll. I'm just rolling wits. And my momentum, not gonna help me very much, I don't think. Unless I roll under a 1 on all my dice. But
well, before you roll that, it is possible that somebody who may have punched you in the near future or in the near present may be able to help you, possibly by like running cable and whatnot.
Yes, Nails. Can you help a guy out? We're in
muted.
Oh, sorry. I'm sitting here talking to you and have my mic up. Any heavy lifting,
yes.
Moving boxes, things like that?
Let me talk to you about the pain of pulling cable.
Yes. That was my old job.
She is exactly the kind of person I want around when it comes to getting cable from sub-basement 5 to the surface.
All right, run to the shuttle, go grab these things, and then...
Can she assist with iron?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I'd say if it's just like being strong and moving things around.
Beautiful. And look at that strong hit. Beautiful.
All right, so Dice, you get 2 momentum and +1 to your roll.
Very nice.
And I get a momentum.
Huzzah. Momentum.
Right?
+1 to the roll. Nice. I will... Oh! Hello!
Look at that!
All right, so you have face danger. You got yourself not just that, but also an opportunity.
Very nice.
Let's see. want to face danger, on the very least, you also get another momentum for that strong hit.
Mm-hmm.
Things are looking up for Earl.
Yeah. Hey Algo, you want to test the uplink on this dish? I got to get it over to the other stations,
Right.
to the other colonies, but I want to know that thing's actually carrying data. Give me a ping. One ping only.
All right. So, I will say this right now, as far as your opportunity is concerned.
Yeah.
I don't have anything strong in mind, but it could just be that, Algo's able to use or is able to funnel all this data directly into your guys' data banks.
Ooh.
Therefore, leaving out the, you having to find a middleman in the short term.
Very cool. That's great. I'm actually very okay with that if Bill is.
Yep.
All right.
For it.
So yeah, we got a nice dump spot there, and just for the sake of, like, I'm lining this thing up and looking at the angles over to the other colonies, I think I'm going to try to fulfill this quest right now. What that basically means is all I really need to do is set up a receiving dish on the other two colonies without really, I just have to plop it down and plug it in.
Yep.
And plug it into a data bank, assuming that I can fulfill this thing. If not, then it just got more complicated.
Yes.
Okie dokie. So I'm going to hit the fulfill thing and just wrap that up. I'm sitting right here. You filthy beggar. All right. Get the Navarran knowledge vaults, blah, 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 blah.
All right. So on a weak hit, 1 second.
Quest moves? Yeah, quest.
Yep. It's like, no, you don't have more questions. All right. So on a weak hit, there's more to be done.
Okay, so I need to swear an iron vow to set things right.
If you swear an iron vow to set things.
If I swear an iron vow to set things right, I get the reward of, I get the full reward for fulfilling the vow, but I basically replaced it with another problem.
And I will tell you this now. If you don't want to do that, your reward can't go below 1.
Exactly. So basically nothing happens. I don't have a problem with swearing an iron vow for this. It's probably going to be another troublesome because it's going to be getting the other two stations online. If that makes sense.
Yep.
All right.
So that's a heart roll.
Oh right. Yeah. Swear an iron vow. Look at that. All right. And I am going to.
And I'm going to say at this point you have connections that are going to be. This is going to be useful too, so you at least get your +1 there.
Okay, I'll take
I was going to say, this is definitely aligns with at least one of my vows also.
Let's see what I got. I'll take a weak hit. Don't know.
All right.
Yeah, and I actually, if the result of this is kind of like take 1 momentum and you don't really know what to do next, I think that's partly because I'm looking at Faith's colony going, how in the frick am I going to talk her into wiring one of these things into her whatever terminal she actually has working over there? Oh, my head hurts.
That's definitely that definitely tracks.
Lincoln's.
You might get punched in the face again.
Say that again, Bill.
You might get punched in the face again.
Yeah,
You know?
that'd be super.
I was going to say, it sounds like you're going to need my help for that.
Exactly, probably. Lincoln, I don't feel like it's like, hey, Lincoln, can I plug this in so you can have access to this vast store of knowledge? That's an easy sell. All right, so I got the thing. It's done. I completed it. I get the. What does that do? Having completed a troublesome one, what do I do?
Okay, so at this point, you basically have this set up so that it is broadcasting out. Right now, the only receiver is the Wayfinder.
Ship.
Yeah.
And so is Algo. But at least your the fact that all this information is now freely accessible by anybody who has tools that no one has right now means that this is doable. Getting the rest of this done, that's its own thing. Hence why you have, the other vow that you've made.
Yeah.
At least as far as, your immediate gains from this, if you're not at Navarran and you need to get some information at Navarran, you can just get it.
All of which is valuable information to know. I meant mechanically speaking, having completed a vow and getting the full that says legacy benefits. What happens there? Do I mark a progress thing?
Yes, in the quest track, you mark 1 tick because it was a troublesome.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sorry, I was not following.
No, that's cool. It's what you just said is important too.
That was going to be his next question. So
Yeah. Can I? And the last thing, having gotten him connected to this vault of knowledge and so forth, can I do an advance or mark progress on helping Elgo rebuild themselves?
I'd say yes.
All right, Elgo, you're connected. You have, I don't know, at least as good access as one of our friends down here. So start digging. See what you can find out.
And Algo will start digging. By the way, Doyce.
Yes, sir.
I forgot what you rolled the miss on originally.
The miss was on the what was the miss? Where's my miss?
On finding a place that doesn't have the
the security thing.
connection.
yeah.
Oh yes.
Yes. So
yes. I forgot about that part.
Yep.
All right. Did you remember to mark it in your failures?
I did mark it in my failures track.
Okay.
So
You're getting closer. You're almost halfway there.
almost a third of the way there.
Well, you only have to get to 6 before you can hit the, you can try to
Oh.
learn from your failures. You don't have to get all the way there.
That's fair.
It's probably safer to.
It would feel really bad to like get 6 and then go, now I'm gonna learn something. No, you're not. You've learned nothing. You've learned nothing except how to set a broken nose repeatedly. Anyway.
Yeah, fun story about that.
And I was gonna say, and even there, you need Nail's help.
Yeah. You were gonna say? What'd you say, Milk?
Oh no, it is very possible for you to learn wrong.
Yep.
That.
Cortex, we are online with the data between the databanks and the Wayfinder.
Well, from the primary databanks.
From the primary databanks, yeah, primary databanks, and if we get the other ones backing up, we can shuffle everything straight to Elgo.
All right, let's get it done.
All right. So, Bill, what is Cortex doing? Now,
So Cortex's primary goal is to have a viable backup of whatever the cubes have right now.
all right. So, previously, when you had talked to Paxton, you were able to get him to agree to giving you read-only access. So, so that would still work for this. However, Paxton is going to be very leery about anybody hooking up any sort of cable access. Like you with just your handheld there, that was one thing. You now plugging him into the further system, he's less than trusting of that. Again,
Okay.
Can I have a quick question though? Like, based on our technology, isn't it possible that like what we're doing looks a lot less like plugging in than what you're implying?
possibly,
It's actually a wireless connection.
Yeah.
possibly, but you would still have to do some sort of adaptation from what he has into the broader system.
We're somewhat limited by the cube, the databank tech. Like these things are meant to interface with the rest of the databank. That's what I'm wired into. So we got to get them talking. I'm sure that there's some argument that we
I
can
got
make
it.
that,
I'm just thinking there's a little stealth in there that we can do.
I mean, it's very possible that you could.
You've been working with limited processing power. Let's get you back to the rest of the database. More processing power, faster, safer, backup, blah, 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 blah. Something. I don't know.
Yeah. But as we have learned, stealth is not your virtue.
No.
Yeah, but Gab is.
Okay,
Gab
so
is somebody's virtue.
to answer his concerns, I feel the easiest way to do that is to just show him on the handheld that I have the schematic for how this is all wired up. Because we're going to be monitoring this procedure anyway. To know that it's working, I'll just let him participate in that monitoring.
All right. So I will say he is he's a paranoid old machine at this point. He's more machine than man now. So yeah, there is obviously danger that he's going to get he's going to get a bit twiggy about all this. So it definitely sounds that this is some face danger, and I'll give you your option here. It may be if you're doing this sociably, like trying to be this sociably, or just through like resolve, then we'll roll hard. If not, it's gonna be like if this is more like using your expertise to walk him through all this, then
I'm looking at it like this. He's basically still the boss. He thinks of himself as the boss. He's here to micromanage, some employee project that we're working on. That sort of behavior grinds Cortex down real goddamn hard. He values his independence, but he understands it. So what he's doing is kind of basically doing that whole like accountability due diligence thing to a manager, and just saying like you don't trust the work that I'm doing. Here's the work that I'm doing. You can judge for yourself. And he will walk them through it because it's foreign technology. So for that reason, I feel like expertise or focus is appropriate.
That does sound appropriate. Also, I appreciate your analogy, and I hate it just a little bit.
Well, this is one of the reasons Cortex is a space trucker now, because he doesn't have to deal with this nonsense anymore. But anyway.
That is a good point.
I was going to ask if I could assist by trying to distract him, but
That would be awesome if you could.
Tell me, how do you distract the robot from the graphs and the charts and the workflow?
Let Nels punch you. I mean,
we'll provide entertainment, right?
it worked for me, sort of.
I'm interested, Paxton, in the perspective that this long life that you've obtained so far and are pursuing reflects your spiritual belief, or how it's affected those spiritual beliefs as to what it means to be, what it means to be part of or separate from the rest of the universe. The very concept of soul and meaning in a broader context of the world around you.
Okay.
So I'm trying to secure an advantage for Cortex by basically distracting him in a completely separate direction from monitoring the graphs and the rolling numbers.
You're appealing to that man part of the little bit of more machine than man now.
Sure,
kind
yeah,
of what I'm getting at.
Talk about yourself.
And it's an honest curiosity, but it's also sort of like...
Well, and it's also ego, right? I mean, it's also, addressing his ego, which still exists in spades.
All right, Dave. Yeah. That, since it sounds like you are trying to appeal emotionally to him, roll plus art. All right. So you can either give Bill 2 momentum or a +1 to his roll, or you can burn all your momentum to give him both.
The 2 momentum will actually let me get rid of both the challenge dice, so I'll take that.
Go for the 2 momentum. Then I won't burn my momentum. If that will take you to where you need to be.
That would raise my momentum to 6, which would cancel both the 5 and the 4.
Yep.
Awesome.
So you burn the momentum, get 1 back because you got a strong hit. All right.
So I paid net 1 momentum for this. Okay, I can live with that.
Basically. So yeah. After like some talking at this point and the 2 of you kind of going through this, you can tell like all of this, and I'll say this, Blaze, you're probably getting this more than Cortex might, but possibly Cortex might be. This dude is afraid. Like, everything he's done, he knows he was on the wrong side of all of this. So he's just waiting for somebody to take him to task for. And that's why, and you think it's quite possible that that's why he's done everything that he's done. Like, he has definitely gone above and beyond what was needed in order to accomplish this goal. So, with the 2 of you, like, walking him through it, you're able to get him mostly settled down long enough for Cortex to get the connection up and going. And he's, and so you're able to start having Algo run that backup of all that data. At which point it'll be a job for somebody to like get all that data off of there and onto a different piece of media. Like make more data cubes. Who knows? That's probably a job for Carter and his guys. But basically, like he's willing to give you this. You definitely haven't gotten on his good side, if he has a good side. But he's at least met you on this.
Hey, he's at least not trying to kill us.
Yeah.
In Niels' world, that's a good thing. That's practically love.
Mm-hmm.
Must really like us. He hasn't killed us yet.
What does not kill us means we're still alive.
By that metric, everyone on this planet loves you guys. Even Faith.
Yeah. Hasn't killed us yet.
Hasn't tried to kill Earl yet. Just harm him.
True.
Okay, so you guys have gotten the data. You're sending it up to the Wayfinder. What do you do? Does it, speaking of, this sounds like a definite accomplishment. Does anybody have any vows that might be helped out by this?
Unthaw some experts on Navarin and secure their existence.
Definitely sounds like a step in that direction.
Well, then I'm going to fulfill that vow.
Make the world a better place? Oh, fulfill. Go for it.
Goddamn challenge dice.
This planet is so complicated.
Yep,
What level vow was that, Bill?
it was troublesome. So yes, same thing as before. Obviously because it's troublesome, you can't step down the reward any further than it is. But if you would like to add some complication to this, I am all ears about what you think it might be.
That's a good question. I feel like most of the existing vows that anything further would support are kind of on other people already. Cordex doesn't really have any beef with what this guy is trying to do. Like he's very much lucky to each their own kind of thing. I think he kind of wants more help with the force field screen tech and non-gate FTL stuff. So I feel like getting on this guy's good side might help with that. But I don't know that is a separate vow. Like I have existing vows for those.
Yeah. So it sounds like we just want to leave it as it lays here, and take your one tick on the quest vow and clear out that vow.
All right, I'll do that.
All right.
Would this overall effort to be accessing this, have this data now accessible, between what we're pulling from the backups and the fact that Earl has managed to get that kind of activity done, is that going to potentially help the Shackletons become more autonomous and not dependent on Lincoln's guidance all the time?
I would say it's a step in that direction. I think
But don't we need to still set that up?
Yeah, I think you would
for
still
the
need
other
to
two?
set that up.
Oh, okay.
Although,
Because
again,
remember, Joyce didn't make it fully.
yeah. Although, admittedly, looking at your vow there and where you are at it, it definitely sounds like a first step in that direction. So, yeah, go ahead and mark that.
Mark on it.
All right.
So, make the world a better place for future generations.
Yeah, preserving knowledge sounds like that. And by making this all available to everybody, that also sounds like you guys have the established healthy cooperation between settlements on the Wayfinder sheet. And I think that probably counts too.
Cool.
Like
Puts
we're
them
definitely-
more on an even footing.
Yep, or at least steps along that way. All right. All right. Sorry, I was just remembering something. I was like, oh yeah, no. But we've already gone past that, and I feel no need to have to go back and revisit that at this point. All right. So you guys have gotten this set up. Carter's in a bit of a weird place here because he's like he doesn't have any less control than what he had before, but now he definitely knows that he's not in full control, and that's a bit troublesome too.
I can understand that completely.
Mm-hmm. How you guys want to handle that is an entirely different thing, but right now he is definitely like you can see that, like, just from the way he's been acting since this has all come up, it's worrying him.
Well, what if we, tried to make sure that he was, one of the first people to try and, at least be able to absorb some of this missing history, missing information. So he feels like he at least understands what was going on.
Well, he definitely can't, given what you guys have already accomplished, he definitely can get access to it.
Well,
so in the short term, that'll definitely, give him something to spend some time going through.
well, and it gets him, if he's spending his time learning, then he's not spending his time worrying. My mom always said, gotta keep your mind occupied. Worry never got you anywhere. Was that you, Dave?
What?
Never mind.
Yes, that was me just saying something.
Sorry.
All right.
My phone pinged and I wasn't sure who it was.
All right. So at this point, I'll ask the entire group this. What do you guys want to do?
I want to convince Earl that the next place we should go is going to Faith and making sure she feels like she's the first we connected with this, and work with her group to find the right people to start start learning.
I mean, yeah.
It's best to do that than to do it the other way around. She'll be pissed if she's the last one.
She's
know
gonna
that.
She's gonna be pissed no matter what we do.
Well, no, she's.
That's
but,
a resting state.
But think about it. What is? I mean, their settlement has been disadvantaged in protection, in knowledge, in all these things. If we go to them first, it's showing that we respect them. And honestly, that's what Faith wants.
No, you're
At
not
least that's my
wrong.
impression.
You're not wrong. My face is still swollen from the beating you just gave me. I'm not looking forward to another swing taken on the face. Maybe we can get drunk.
But maybe she'll think maybe they'll make her feel less violent against you if you're already beat up.
Hope springs eternal. Maybe we can get her drunk and convinced.
That's always a good idea. What you got on board?
Huh?
What does Cortex have on board?
Well, I'm not sure what supplies we brought down with which to impress the locals, but I'd be.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like an opportunity to check your gear.
Oh, that's a good idea. Check my gear. Wait, is that under? What is that under? Adventure
That's
mode?
an adventure mode.
Check your gear. When you check to see if you have a specific helpful item or resource, roll supply. I head for the shuttle. Check what supply.
Yep, and so that is on the ship, and I believe the ship is at 4 supply.
Could do something about that. Where is the?
Well, we can also do some salvaging now that we know, where they actually unburied the pod and stuff like that. There's other stuff here.
Oh, it's right there.
Besides the chamber we're in.
True. Yep.
It is true.
Oh, look at that.
All right.
Strong hit.
Nice.
All right.
Earl, you have the fancy boot. The one with, like, the nice gold foil, like, wrapper on it and everything.
Ooh. All right.
Does he also
Hey.
have, like, the harsh booze that will knock you under the table?
That's what you do after. That's what you do after the third glass. You switch to
Yeah.
that.
Right.
But yeah, take one more, or take a momentum.
Oh, right. I'll take it. I'll happily take momentum. Well, I find myself suitably equipped for another foray into
The world of faith.
Mariposa.
Before we do that, since it doesn't look like we're going to get access to the healing chair anytime soon,
That definitely seems like a fair state.
I know there had been some discussion about, I don't know where we stand on open hibernation pods, or on identifying people that were going to be necessary to defrost in order to move things forward. But we still have some seriously ill/injured people on the shuttle
That is true.
if we cannot get healing for them, we need to, get them on ice.
I feel like the message I kept picking up repeatedly, and perhaps it's just because I was listening for it or imagining it, but it kind of felt like our own medical facilities on the Wayfinder were going to be as well or do as well or better than what they had locally.
Well, in terms of actually treating them, yes.
Yes.
But remember, we were being shown that picture when the healing pod was not a known quantity. And so there's probably some people that we can take up to get care for. As well as potentially, identifying some supplies that we can bring down to Nan.
Sure.
But if there,
remember,
I don't know.
I do have some skill at that.
If there are folk among the injured that we can't take care of, then we should take advantage of the fact that we're here with them in Navarin and at least suspend their problem until we can apply ourselves more towards it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does to me.
Yes, it does.
What was Carter saying about this? Like, he didn't know if he had the juice for running enough this many more pods.
Well, it was more of just finding a space to put. No, the thing that he was most the thing he was most worried about was the whole unfreezing other people.
Gotcha.
And the supplies needed for them.
Well, and we were going to do that. We were going to do that with people that were needed for the the technological research back over on the Mariposa side of things to understand the control room and stuff like that, as I recall.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
It wasn't
I
a
don't
big
know.
list. I mean, I think it's a small switch in numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not talking about hundreds. I think we're talking like 5.
Yeah, but we don't have that many
Well,
people
At
on
least to start with.
we don't have many more people than that on the shuttle, I don't think. So that kind of balances.
I don't know what our numbers are there.
I'm gonna say this: it's
Some.
bigger than a bread box, smaller than a dozen.
Okay.
So some. Probably we can make it balance out if we just had to figure out. So yeah, maybe somebody can have that conversation with Carter and start making body swaps.
Yep, and
So-
I believe Dave Blaze had already identified the people.
Right.
Now
Okay.
it's just
I don't know that I had identified them, but I'm happy to have done so.
well, you have made some progress on that particular event. I know that much.
Yeah.
And so I don't know which one it was. So you're
Yeah, I mean, because that was while we found out that certain people were missing. That the ones that conveniently died were.
Right. We got
Related,
distracted by the
because you
fact that there were that people who could tell us about the fifth overseer were conveniently all missing.
Yeah.
Right, but we had a lot of other things we needed.
We had identified others that were applicable
Gotcha.
to what we're looking for.
So
and-
maybe we can advance that by just getting
so it's easy,
getting
yeah,
Carter
right.
to
So
start
we
the
found-
process.
Right. We found it was easy for us to find master scientists. It was harder for us to find people who knew about the vault. And then fifth overseer people were not to be found.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Because
And I guess that was me doing that. So okay. Hey, look, it's in the log. It must be true. So Carter, while you're catching up on your homework there, we do have some of these people, some of your people, that I think are going to be, as we've identified, critical for work. Figuring out how to make the, all the connections and the research and everything on the vault, as well as some astrophysics folks who will be able to help with. I can't remember why we wanted astrophysics.
The meteor shield.
the shield.
With the meteor shield, which obviously is going to help everybody involved here as we're moving forward. Can we start looking at bringing them out of their sleep?
And I will say, Dave, at this point, he's definitely on your side with these things. This is going to be probably a very softball compel for you.
Okay.
Among other things, he's a bond. You get +2 on the roll.
Alrighty then. I'm happy to take advantage of that.
And it's a heart roll, so all the better for you.
Oh yeah, that would be a strong hit.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's all for it. He's like, okay, well, I mean, we're doing kind of an equivalent sort of stage. This doesn't seem like it's going to be too taxing on anything. Obviously, like, I expect that, since some of these people are going to be going to Mariposa, obviously they're going to help out with keeping them fed and homed, right?
Of course.
Oh, then there shouldn't be any issues. There won't be any extra strain on our side.
Right. No, they don't have to go with 3 weeks worth of food supplies in their backpacks. We'll make sure that all works out. Everybody's
Perfect.
working together here towards a greater goal.
All right. Well, so yeah, I mean,
Or we'll
so
drop off
at that
the-
point, it is a couple hours of getting people de-thawed and getting other people prepped for going into the chambers. In fact, you might even, since you guys have a little bit of time here, and I know some people might have some things they want to do, this might be a good idea, or it might be a good time for us to bring up the sojourn mood.
Oh.
Ooh, okay.
Because this basically is your encompassing, you spend a lot of time in a community doing things. Generally, just spending time resting, taking it easy, getting ready for your next leg of your journey.
Is this a montage shot?
It kind of is a montage shot. So during this, one person is going to go ahead and make a roll. It's with heart. You guys have a bond with somebody in the community, so you take +2.
I've actually got a asset move that lets me sojourn with supply, and our supply I think is at +4 right now.
Correct.
It is. So yeah, that would be sojourning +6. So Bill, if that is an asset you have specifically, then I would say go ahead and make the roll.
And our supply will go down by 1.
Okay.
That's okay. I'm going to resupply.
I mean, we're all going to get, I think it's like 2 free moves, yeah, so.
Yep. Okay. So, on a strong hit, you and your allies each choose 2 recovery. Your options here are heal, which recovers your health, hearten, which recovers your spirit. Spirit.
Yeah, spirit.
Spirit.
Yeah.
Repair, which allows you to fix things, and resupply, which allows you to regain
Supply.
Yeah, regain supply. I will say, if anybody feels like using, one of their actions for heal, for getting care for the Mariposans who are seriously ill or injured, it's probably going to be another tick on Dave's track.
Well, I will absolutely do that because I don't have anything that I need to heal myself. So I am happy to shift that healing over to the Mariposa.
Okay. In that case, Dave, you have 2 ticks, or you have 2 marks there. One for getting Carter on board, and the other one is for help. I imagine this as like Blaze spending a little bit of time in the medical room, just be like helping people. Like, Blaze's particular into that is probably, hey, listen, you're just gonna go to sleep for a while, and when you wake up, there'll be people who can help you with your, heart disease or what have you.
And Margie, for what it's worth, one of the actions you can take is repair. You get an automatic strong hit, but that would also repair the mallard, and that would give you progress on your bow.
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
All right, so I'm just going to go around here. And Dave, you already know what your first thing is going to be, is that heal. So, Bill, what's your first thing?
I'm going to go ahead and do a resupply. On a strong hit, we take +2, so we're at full.
Yep, back up to 5.
So this is all based on Bill's roll? We're not
Yes,
rolling
it is,
three-
actually.
He opens it up
Okay.
for us to do the recovery rolls.
Yep.
The other rolls.
And because of his roll, they're all automatically strong hit.
Gotcha.
All right.
Really?
Noise.
You don't have to roll the individual rolls? I thought you had to
Nope.
roll the individual rolls. Really?
So, nope, Sojourn speeds up everything.
And the other recovery move that I want to make is to
Holy moly.
acquire a specific item or resource which can be reasonably obtained, which is the mine data that Paxton is dumping into these cubes. Like, we talked about that before.
Yep, because he was the overseer. But overseer is the wrong term because apparently that's already a term in this game. But he was the facility manager for the vault.
And he apparently feels that he has critical information which needs to be backed up. I fully agree, and we're basically saying, hey, we're going to be one of the people that gets the backup.
Sounds like a good deal.
All right, and I take +1 momentum for that.
Yes, you do. All right, Doyce.
Yes.
What is your first recovery move?
Do we have the thing with the ship yet where we can go over 5 on supply?
I don't.
Not yet. I need basically like 1 more tick of XP, and I can buy that.
Okay. I'm going to worry first then about getting my spirit back up. So that is
a hearten.
Hearten. So
Yep, and on a strong hit, you take +2, unless you're doing this as part of a sojourn, in which case you can get +3 back.
well,
You don't need +3, but
no, I
it's
do.
an option.
I do. My spirit
you
was down
do?
to 2.
Oh,
So-
well, huzzah!
Yes, indeed. So that's me. Scene 2.
Speaking of, what are you doing in order to?
I am
socialize.
I'm testing. I'm doing a stress test on the good booze to make sure that it is adequate.
With me, because
Yes,
social,
with nails, and once we've had ourselves a couple of sniffs of the really good stuff, we'll have a couple of sniffs of the bad stuff, and then having had a sniff of the bad stuff, we will go back into the shuttle and pull back out a water filtration unit and apply it repeatedly to the bad stuff until we have improved the bad stuff to perfectly
Mediocre
acceptable
stuff.
and utterly smoked one of the water filters. Like, it is black.
Do we lose a supply for that?
No.
But,
And if
yeah.
you do, I imagine he's just going to
Reverse
read.
osmosis filter.
There were a series of sleepovers at the consortium once upon a time where we had read that you could improve bad, mostly vodka, by running it through a Brita water filter.
filter experiment. Yep.
And we
what,
did
what did we discover?
And it works. It
What did-
absolutely works.
Yeah, but it works better on mediocre to make it more drinkable than on bad to make it. It takes a lot more to make bad to mediocre than it takes to go from mediocre to drinkable.
Multiple runs of the bad stuff. I think 5 times through the filter to get it up to like a reasonably drinkable stuff. But the mediocre stuff, one run and you've got.
I think it's pretty good. Yeah.
Some very good stuff. Yeah. But yeah, we'll be trying to get that stuff slightly more palatable by running it through the water filter. I'm pretty sure one of those water filters looked like we'd been holding it over an open flame by the time we were done.
That's how you clear it out, with all that alcohol and volatile organics.
Yeah, it was rough. But yeah, that's what my recovery looks like.
All right, so Margie, what's inhales as first recovery move? Is it also hearten?
Yeah, I think the hearten is a good idea. I'm at a challenge here because I am. What's your health? What is your health supposed to be?
Your health can go up to 5.
Okay, so why is I'm confused. Why is my marker?
It's probably your spirit, which is the blue one.
No, 2 out of 10. What's that?
Oh, that's your momentum.
Oh, okay, never mind. So then I just need the spirit for that, which we've established that the spirit is the spirit.
Yep.
For the spirit.
The spirit from the spirits, yes.
And that will bring me back up to 5.
Yep.
And then maybe before we do the spirit experiment, I work on some repairs on the marvelous mallard.
So what you're saying is, while Earl is in there concocting the still,
yes,
that's when you and probably the boys from Mariposa go to fix up all the dings.
Yeah,
on
but
the
at the very least, Elijah's there to help me out.
Okay, so an automatic roll on that one, since you're at a facility, is 5 points worth of repairs, which is ridiculous in comparison to what you actually need.
Okay, so what does that do for me?
Everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say that allows you to fix up basically anything.
Okay, so I can basically fill the bar.
As far as your progress goes, it's technically only 1 tick. Well, not 1 tick, but it's 1 mark.
Okay.
What was it? What kind of vow was it?
It was troublesome.
It's
so
troublesome.
so she's at 6 out of 10.
At like 6.
Yeah. Now again, you can attempt to fulfill it at any point. It's just how lucky do you feel?
Yeah. I still want to, buff the leather and,
That needs to be repainted.
It's going to be better than it was.
Taking out the dings and the dimples, now it needs to be repainted.
Actually, what's remaining is not the mallard itself, but adequately apologizing and
that's a good point. All right.
Showing the care in that. So, great.
All right.
That's my 2.
Yep. So that's Margie's 2. We got Bill's 2. Dave, what's your second? Now we'll say, if nothing else comes to mind, you can resupply for 1 momentum.
I mean, there's nothing in any of those stats for me that I need. And what I really love to do is, your Cortex is doing that mining of Paxton's data, or continuing with that. Maybe suddenly think that if I've got free time, I'd love to do some research in whatever data they've got to see what information they have from the olden days about the gates in this system. But if that's, I don't know if that's applicable to what can be done here with Sojourn.
So that would probably fall under resupply, and what you're doing is you're getting a specific resource that is reasonably obtainable, which is that knowledge from the database.
Okay.
In which case, you get it, and you get +1 momentum. But until you burn momentum, I'm not bringing up momentum around you anymore.
Okay.
I say that I say that as a friendly tease, not as a.
No. If I saw a place where using momentum made any sense, I would use it. But when it came up on the roll earlier, it was like, no, Cortex only needed the momentum. He didn't need the plus on the die. So, okay.
It's
So I get
perfect.
some knowledge.
Yep. So what sort of information were you looking for here?
What I'm hearing is we need Blaze to make a lot more difficult rolls.
Yes.
Yeah,
There you
next time we're worried, Blaze gets to roll.
Well, next time we have to sneak, Blaze gets to roll.
Great.
Blaze, hold this door.
Oh, my nose. Yeah. I know. What I want to find out is just what observations they had about the gates and their energy patterns and how they behaved. Stuff that is applicable towards hopefully my vow towards finding a way to get all the gates back open again. So anything information about the gates and their behavior that may not be just kind of what's ordinarily known.
Right.
I would say that they do have some very interesting data on some of their research they've done on how the gates and the satellite interact with one another. And you're gonna get some of this from the notes that they made. They were very leery of doing it or doing any experimentation with it at the time.
Well, I can understand that.
Because the satellite kept them from dying and their civilization being ruined, and also they were worried about doing anything that might screw up the gates. Both those ships have sailed at this point.
Exactly.
So it's possible that using this research, you may be able to do some more experimentation and figuring out a way to open up not just the Astrid Gate, but all the other gates in this system, which I would say is definitely probably a good tick along the line on your formidable task of find your way back through the Astrid Gate.
That's on the Wayfinder one.
Yeah, he's on the Wayfinder one.
Yep, but I already did the tick on it. So.
Okay. How about on my finding a way to open the gates?
Yeah, I think so.
My epic.
Yep.
Yep. I went from a minus to a plus. Yay!
Yeah, you got 2 ticks on that. Good job.
Okay, great. And then at some point, I do want to roll on my get care for the Mariposans, but I'm not sure. We're not done with the.
Well, you can do a heal. Just choose a heal.
I've already done a heal on them.
Yeah,
Oh, gotcha.
He's got 9. He's got 9 out of 10 progress here.
But I'll wait on that.
Oh, roll to. I got you. Never mind.
Earl has done his second.
Yeah, because I think this is going to be like, okay, we've got them all in cryo. Cross our fingers. Let's see if everybody takes to it.
Question.
Yes.
Did we, having gotten Carter to agree to do the swap and put some of these more damaged people away in some of their cryo, did that count?
That was underway, yeah.
Did that count toward the Wayfinder?
Cooperation?
Did we mark the Wayfinder thing on the cooperation?
We didn't.
We did not.
But that definitely sounds like,
Yep.
A thing. So
that sounds like a thing.
So I think since we already capped out on resupply, which was going to do, I'm still going to do a resupply. But I am going to do the, you're in need of specific item or resource which can be reasonably obtained, you acquire it. We have all this data banks in Access. I want to go back, way back. And I mean, if this
far back year of 1999.
Yeah, I want to go back to the original sort of founding of the colony and stuff and see the history. Like I want to, what I'm looking for is, this is how the 3 colonies used to be. You used to work together. You've lost your way, and get these records. Pull this stuff up. This is how you guys used to work. This is how you used to work. This used to connect here, and the knee bone's connected to the Mariposa bone. Yeah, so on and so forth. And get all that stuff together as a way of having this stuff that can then be presented back to these folks to say, listen, we're not doing something new. We're getting you back to where you should have been, to where you used to be.
Together a PowerPoint deck for the proposal.
And it's not just technology, but it's kind of
it's not just the
social
tech.
interaction.
Yeah, I want to pictures of the leaders of these various groups, standing over a table, or Christ, standing around a freaking keg. I don't care, but
The black and white photos of them all shaking hands and holding shovels for groundbreaking,
or spraying champagne in each other's faces over having accomplished a thing or whatever. I don't, any of that kind of stuff, if it exists.
Yep. Nope. It definitely exists. You
Cool.
get it, and it's probably going to be a big eye opener for some of these folks whenever they start causing problems. It's like no. You guys didn't used to be 3 colonies. You used to be a dozen major cities along the entire rim of the planet.
Right. And yeah.
Now this is where you've gotten from not working together.
Nice. So to that end, I want to acquire that thing, and take my plus momentum. Does that, having acquired this valuable information regarding these big arguments, does that also advance the cooperation thing, or do I need to apply it?
It will once you actually get somebody to agree to,
Gotcha.
That, yeah, that one's definitely. You have been given the bomb. You're going to have to set off the bomb at some
set
point.
off the bomb.
Once you set off the bomb, yes.
Yes. Okay.
But in its
The
current
bomb will
state,
go off.
no.
Working on getting my momentum up to the point where I have a shot at convincing Faith of a damn thing. So between the booze and the photos,
Yeah, booze and photos.
preferably applied in that order and one well after the other. Yeah, fingers crossed. We'll see how that goes.
All right. So you guys have basically spent the whole rest of the day here, as promised. As at least agreed upon. Paxton hasn't started any shit. He's mostly kept to himself in his dark, secluded area.
Yep.
You haven't Carter hasn't seen anything on any of his systems that show that he's been interacting with anything, but he's also not seen that over the past 10 years. So
Fair.
take that for what it is. But you guys have finally, you guys have had a little bit of time for R&R. Nails and Earl definitely look a bit verschnecked.
I think we might need to sleep before we head over there.
I figure sleep is involved in this entire
Yeah.
Sojourn.
Yeah.
but
Oh, we're calling it
eventually
sleep now. Okay.
all of the injured from Navarre or from Mariposa are in the cryo chambers. The cryo chambers have been active. Now it's just time to wait and see if all of their vital signs stay as they should, which is to say, slowly just cut off and then minimal brain activity.
I feel like
Scary.
somebody hanging around the cryo chambers has got to make the comment of well, if this goes well, with any luck, they'll look dead.
I mean, that's really good. I like it.
All right, and Dave, I believe this is on you.
I believe it is on me. So this is where I click the fulfill button.
Yep.
Mr. Momentum.
Unfortunately, you can't use momentum.
I can't use momentum on it.
Oh.
I can't use my prayer. I can just click fulfill.
And hope.
You literally can't pray for this to go well. That's hilarious. God is
right.
usually on your side.
Can't use momentum at the last.
All right, so you have fulfilled your vow. You have gotten a strong hit. You get 1 tick on your quest box in your progress.
Yay!
Who is that?
That was me.
That's Blaze.
Nice.
So I get a tick in my quest box, or a mark on my quest box. Okay.
Yep, which puts you halfway there.
Puts me halfway.
Halfway to having a full box.
Oh, halfway. Yeah, I was going to. No, I'm way off to the left here. I'm not halfway through that quest box.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, if we fill all 10 boxes on any of those tracks, we'll have been playing this game for quite some time.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Okay, so that clears that vow. Do I hit clear to make that all go away then, or?
I don't know if it works. You can give it a shot.
Clear.
If
Just
not,
clear.
you-
Clear.
It'll work, but it won't go to the vow text.
There you go.
Okay.
Well,
So there you go.
I have taken care of that.
All right. So, yep. After some tense waiting, eventually Carter comes back to tell you, okay, they're fine.
Cool.
Well, they're no worse than they were.
Right.
and they'll be that way for a while.
Until the colony is back on its feet again and can actually care for them properly.
Yep. And he's gone in, he's made entries for all of them, he's made notes about the ailments that you guys had identified. Yeah, he is, it may not be him, but somebody will eventually unthaw him and have to see him get medical treatment.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, that makes us feel good.
Yep, and he appreciates, all you guys have done, except for the point where you uncovered the hidden computer brain in the back of his place.
Isn't it better to know?
Brain in a box.
Yeah, to be fair, the
I blew
appreciation
it.
should be that we. Yes.
I should be wearing my brain, what is brain shirt?
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So once you guys have gotten all that settled up, what is the next order of business?
I
Have
think
we
Mariposa.
flipped it?
Well, we don't need to. I mean,
Yeah,
just,
for the next day, it's Mariposa.
All right. So you guys say your goodbyes. You hop on the shuttle, and
Are we bringing the technical folks that we thought out with us?
I don't
assume
know how
so.
long they need to be out, but I'm
I
assuming
feel like
we
I
can.
feel like we could set them a like let them rehydrate or whatever it is they need to do, and sort of leave them with a Sudoku book, but leave them with some of the puzzles to start working on, some of the questions.
Yeah,
That's not a bad idea.
that definitely sounds like a
Ease it
coming
in.
out of cryo.
Don't subject them to space.
Yeah. Coming out of cryo and getting like acclimated to, okay, how much time has passed this time? What did I need? What did you guys need to wake me up for?
Yeah.
That's probably at least a week, maybe more.
Yeah, they need more than a week to get ready for Faith.
Don't we all? I know I do.
Too bad.
Yep.
So
Well,
sad.
I was about to say they have a week of unthawing, and then however long they need to do ground transport over to Mariposa,
Well, I mean, in
or maybe
theory,
a shuttle.
We can pop over here in just 20 minutes and.
Yup.
Yeah, but maybe the extra couple hours will help.
Yeah, but we can.
But that's an issue for a later date.
Yeah. For now, they're where they are.
Besides, we want to get Mariposa ready for them too. We don't, they don't like surprises.
All right. So
Looking down at the shuttle.
after a fairly pleasant ride on the shuttle, back to Mariposa, and possibly, either getting rid of what remained from the bottle from yesterday, or at least burning all of the filtration systems that Earl managed to destroy.
Yeah.
Everybody but Blaze can take one momentum because of the shuttle asset.
Lovely.
Nice. Always nice to start off with. a little
Good
momentum.
asset. Good asset. Good boy.
Good duck.
Good duck.
Good duck. Speaking of, before we do that, Margie,
Yes.
before you guys all got on the shuttle, was there anything Nails wanted to do? Because you had talked about that before, and I want to make sure I gave you the opportunity.
A pop job.
Sorry, Dave was being silly.
Help.
Stage
Um,
whisper.
So, how does the shuttle look? Does it? I mean, you said with that it would look really good, right?
Oh yeah, like
With all the stuff.
yeah, you had enough hands and enough skill and enough resources at hand from Navarin's vehicle depot. I use that with broad strokes
Okay,
there, but
So all of the really bad car commercials where they have like the big bow on top of the car.
I'm gonna tell you right now, they put one of those on my car when I went to go buy it.
That's funny.
Yeah, when
were you
after
impressed?
I was not. It took me 3 hours of waiting around that place in order to get them to finally fill out the paperwork.
Oh yeah.
And afterwards they were like, "Ta-da!" And I was like, "Guys, I've already driven this thing once. Let's not now."
But did they give you a Saturn send off?
I don't even know
Too
what
young
that
to know
is.
about that.
So in back when Saturn was a thing, they would have the entire staff come out and cheer and applaud as you got in your car and drove away. It was the Saturn send off.
Every
Many
time.
people cheer when I leave too. I understand how that goes.
That is both corny, cheesy, and kind of ridiculous, but
So I will say, if Nails has a conversation with Cortex about like what else does the shuttle need, Cortex actually has a solid answer for you. So up to you.
Oh, great. So we have the big bow, and yeah, before the others come out, I have Cortex come out first. I'm like,
If there's a
Yeah.
bow on my shuttle, I'm going to look at the bow. I'm going to look at you. I'm going to look at the bow and look at you.
it's just like on the steering wheel. It's not like a big.
It doesn't matter how big it is.
I just wanted to say I was sorry, and hopefully we got her cleaned up. Is there anything else that she needs?
So the mild mannered mallard is a tough old bird, and one of the rules that I got is whatever scripts I get into it, stars make good lessons. I'm not going to say don't fix the ship up. In fact, we do want to fix the ship up, but the best way that we can make the old mallard feel better about what happened with that scrap is to make sure it doesn't happen again. How do we make it not happen again? There's a bunch of options. We could put more armor on it, but that's going to mess with the aerodynamics. I don't want to do that. It's going to mess with the weight profile. We don't want to do that. But we can take some stuff off. We can take some stuff off to make room for some gun ports. What do you think about that?
Ooh, gun ports are good. I'm happy to help you take anything off you need to take off for
The nails.
All right.
making the mallard happy.
All right, get started on planning what you need. If you're going to put some gun ports on there, like what kind of guns would you put through there? What do you need to make that happen? Remember, of course, we're going to take this into space, so we can't just like cut a piece of metal out. But think about what you would want as someone who'd be shooting out of this thing, and present me with a plan, and we'll call it square. Okay?
I love it. I will work on that.
Good times.
Nice.
So does that advance it? Or I love a role-playing scene that just does something mechanical, whether or not the dice actually do anything. But I don't know what
Well,
the answer to that question.
We'll say yes, and then we'll see what the dice say.
I guess.
If so, Margie, if you want to advance that and then
Yep.
mark it and then hit the fulfill.
Oh my God! Look at that.
All right,
I want to look.
we
Oh my stars and garters!
all right. So there are new rules for this, which is
Do they involve swearing?
so the recommit does not. The recommit does not clear all but one box anymore, because that's what it used to do, and then it made it harder.
Okay. Well, I'm going to recommit, and so obviously the gun ports are part of the recommitment.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
Yeah, no, that sounds perfect. That is completely in line with this. So we're gonna hit this. Okay, so here's the bad news. So you know how you were at 9?
Yep.
And I'm trying to find out where.
Now you're at -3 because you subtract 12.
Thanks.
Oh, geez, where was the mallet? Oh, there it
You're
is.
now at 9 out of 21. 9 plus 12.
You're now at 5,
Okay.
bad.
That I can
and
live
it's now
with.
dangerous.
Okay.
Now,
that is
again-
dangerous.
It's because you're going to strap guns onto a ship. Yeah, it's dangerous. The ship blows up.
Wait. Hey, do I get a failure on that? Do I get
I-
a failure?
So fun story.
Keep up with Joyce.
Fun story. Since this was a progress move, you get 2 ticks.
Woo!
You get 2 ticks because there's no avoiding it. You can't spend momentum.
So
Hey, Joyce, what are you at?
I am at I want to say 2.5. Yeah, 2.5.
I'm at 2.1 now.
Yep. I'm 2 point. I guess
2
5.
1/4 or
2 1/4.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm at 2.5. We're close.
So
Yeah.
is the story here that it was sort of like, I can cut these great big holes in the hull to put in guns, and Cortex just says, no, we're going to be in space.
I
Think
think
about that again.
I think the story here is how do we prep the mallard for dangerous situations? Like we are basically a bunch of technicians and spacers and all that, and we had one weapons person, but we didn't have anything else to support
Right.
that person's mission. We were sent as kind of a very optimistic crew, mostly thinking like we're going to go repair stuff. Everybody's going to want us to repair stuff, And then somebody on the committee was like, "Well, what if they get in a fight?" Well, fine, we'll send a fighter, But that was it. That was the commitment to that part of the mission. And so
Well,
now,
and let's be real, no one actually thought that we would be successful.
Yeah, their idea of guns on the ship was like what they did with Drax in the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie, just kind of hang him out on a cable in the back while he's, in a spacesuit with a shotgun. Hopefully,
I feel the dangerous part here is how do you arm the shuttle that's going to be basically the first impression that anybody who meets us will get. If we land in a gunship, like clearly we're setting expectations on what we're about. If we land unarmed, like we're basically a box of kittens that you can just easily take over, as people thought, because they started fucking shooting at us.
Yeah.
So I feel like the dangerous part of the vow here is to negotiate that
I like it.
within the scope of the mission.
I like it.
I got it.
That's
Yep.
a bunch of bullshit I just made up. So there you go. But
Oh,
I
No,
mean,
but
to be fair, that's what
it-
all stories are.
I also wanted to talk about the scene real briefly, so to talk about what Joyce was asking. That scene didn't necessarily have to have a mechanical result, but I wanted a scene that would justify whatever result came from the fulfill.
Yeah.
And it could go either, like that scene could have gone either way. Like either Nails is like, yeah, I did good, I'm gonna put guns on the thing, this is the best day ever, or Nails is like, oh god, I have so much more work to do.
This is gonna, No, the rolling the fulfill to see how it shakes out. That obviously, I think that gets rolled. But I was thinking, like, do we have to roll something just to have it advance things? Because it feels like this advances that whole speech should tick up the thing. It's just, do we have to attach it to dice? I don't think we didn't end up doing that, which is fine. And that's all good. So. Yeah, no, I'm totally on board with that. I was just thinking about it in terms of, how it looks, making sure.
how it plays.
Yeah, how it plays. And it plays well. It's fine. We're all good.
Yep. Now, I'll always bring it up too. This might also be like an inroad for if anybody ever wants to take the, heavy cannons module and add it to the shuttle,
There you go.
or missile array. Like those are your two weapon options. Those are your two weapon options. Or, we don't actually need an asset for it. It can just be narratively, we put guns on the shuttle. Therefore,
Cool.
we can now attack while in the shuttle.
I like it.
So
No,
that
I
one,
like the story of it. It works.
Yep, that one I leave up to you guys on how you want to handle it.
Cool.
All right, and with that, so fast forward back to where we were before, heading off to Mariposa, and since Faith is kind of flighty on how they react to things, I'm gonna bring up my oracle sheet here.
Oh, good. She's had a chance to get paranoid while we weren't here.
And we are bringing Elijah with us as at least somewhat temperance.
Meat shield.
If
Will
only
you stay?
if only that mattered.
We
Alright.
we let Dave talk first about all the wonderful things we did for the sick people.
I think that's a great way to lead.
That very well could. All right, where?
We put them all into induced comas. It was awesome.
Okay, here was the table I was looking for. Disposition.
Random disposition table.
All right, 26. All right, this is less bad, or this is differently bad.
Oh, good.
This is differently. bad.
I'm glad she mixes it up for us.
Well, just be happy. You were a few. You're a couple of numbers away from suspicious.
Okay.
Okay, glad we could avoid that.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, now you're on curious.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. So as you guys arrive, as you're getting there, the first thing you're thinking is, wow, we didn't take that many people away. Why is no one actually here? And as you kind of just round the shuttle around, that's when you realize, 90% of Mariposa is in and around the worm, or the skate carcass.
Oh.
Nice.
I mean, you say
I like it.
nice. Oh, curious. Oh, dear.
No, because that's on my list, right? Figure out the skate biology. See, so it is a good thing.
All right.
Maybe
So
not.
anyway, as soon as you guys get off the, as soon as you guys disembark, Who's the first person to disembark?
I'll go ahead and do that since I seem to be the diplomat.
So Blaze, you're the first person. As you're coming down the ramp, Faith is coming at the shuttle at a fairly quick clip.
I take cover
Does she have a
behind.
weapon in her hands?
She has something in her hand. You're not sure what it is.
I take cover
But
behind Blaze's momentum.
But it looks big and greasy.
It looks big and what?
Greasy. And as they come up, Faith lifts up their hands like, "Good. I'm glad all you space people are here with your fancy technology. We need you to explain these things." As Faith holds up a meaty chunk of part of the skate.
Okay.
It's pulsing.
Ew. Okay.
So
Well, that's unexpected.
yeah, I figure that's a good place for us to leave off, and gives you a nice little through line to pick up on next time.
Like it.
All right, I feel like we've gone through a lot of the vows at this point,
Yeah.
and some of you guys are sitting pretty close on some of your tracks.
Phew.
Hell,
Wow.
given how some of these are, we might be able to get some of you guys get your second quest box filled, and who knows, you might even get your be able to fill your bond. Because remember, Faith is formidable,
That's right.
and that's 3 ticks in the bonds track if you can actually get if you can get Faith to become an actual bond.
That is a fine goal.
On the less, oh no, that's never going to happen. Nan is a dangerous, so that's 2 ticks, and I think that's all you guys need.
Well, all right, cool. Do we have any ones that can advance at this point? Not really. We've pretty much advanced what we can advance at this point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good deal.
Well,
Yep.
and with Nan, one of the things we could potentially do with Nan, I've got a vow to get her some medical supply help, which we simply have it kind of mechanically bend to the ship, grab some stuff, and bring it down. So
That's true.
that will probably help. That'll help with both my vow and I would think with building that bond with her.
Actually, now that I think about it, you guys did actually get a mark by completing the vow made to Nan for getting the Mariposan sick treated.
That was my vow. So does that count for
That
my
does
vow?
That does still count.
Okay.
Because again,
Oh.
develop the relationship is completing a quest to their benefit.
Oh,
Okay.
So that puts Nan 6 out of 10. So definitely within spitting distance or within very brave territory.
yeah, because we saw how well my 9 worked.
Sometimes you get like a 3 on the challenge die. You can never tell.
Are you
That is
feeling
true.
lucky,
That's
Punk?
why they're dice. And
Well,
All right. Any question?
I think I'm going to throw a troublesome vow up on here. If we're going back to the ship for any reason, this is probably a good time for me to get this done as well. I want to get a line on any ships or other tech that's in space in the system.
That is a good idea.
like it. So we know the asteroid's there, but is there anything else? Is that sort of the idea?
Yeah, like we found the Independence, like in our system, and that was a key to getting the gate open. I feel like there's going to be valuable stuff that we can find on ships in this system too, or asteroid,
We're done.
bases or anything like that.
Yep. Totally doable. In which case, as always, I would say in this case, don't burn the momentum. You get 1 for your roll that you already have. Oh wait, no, that's a miss. Never mind. What happens on a miss on a quest? I
Your
also
goal
get
stands in your way.
on a miss. You face a significant obstacle before you can make progress on your quest. I would assume the significant obstacle is
we were captured by the Mariposa.
I'll give you an easy one if you want.
I give me your suggestion. I have one too, kind of like I would have to like voice out before it would actually be a complete thought. But
The easy one is that with the Wayfinder 7 in orbit, with the shuttle in, on planet side or in orbit, and the conditions in this world that this world presents, a functioning meteor screen is going to interfere with scanning, and therefore we need to disable the meteor screen for a while or leave orbit. Neither of which is a scary, neither of which is a good option right now.
That was mostly what I was going to say. Although you gave much better reasons for it. So, hey, getting the meteor shield in there is like, that's much better than my bullshit reason of, you're going to have to get some distance from this planet because of interference from, the satellite I probably would have
Like that.
eventually came up with.
Well, I mean, all the ingredients for the dramatic stew are sitting on the counter here. I just throw them in the stew pot.
No, that is a good synthesis of different plot points there, Bill. So, yep. Add it to the thing, but also put in there that first you guys are going to have to leave, planetary orbit.
Or, I could break the meteor shield and try to experiment with it to learn more about the gates.
That too.
And that would solve Bill's problem. So, I mean, it sounds like a win-win.
Eventually you guys are going to get all these people built back up, only to roll like a miss while screwing around with that satellite.
Nuke them from orbit.
But it will add another tick to my to my vow. So
It will add another tick to your vow and to your
and to my failure track.
Yeah. I just love all the little moving pieces of this game. Also, you guys.
I do as well.
So always coming up with interesting ways to add in the stuff
To
that's already.
ourselves?
Yep.
I like it. What I like, I think, is that it gives the progression feel of sort of a life path, little fiddly advancement thing like Burning Wheel or something like that, without it being actually Burning Wheel. So that's two checks in the plus column for me. Feels like Burning Wheel is not actually Burning Wheel.
Yeah.
Two goods.
I do have to say, I am highly interested in whatever crazy stuff Sean winds up doing in the new One Ring RPG
Oh yeah.
for Strider mode.
That is really, really cool because I mean the One Ring RPG is good. They really use the lore background really well. There's the 5e version is a fine adaptation of it, but yeah,
It's a thing that exists.
well, the thing is that game struck me as being challenging in the same kind of way that like Torchbearer was. Not as bad, but it was definitely like, it's not easy. Like, we want to travel from, Bjorn's, lands over the Dalelands through Mirkwood. That's hard. Like, it is a big deal. It is like, and when it's all said and done, like, months will have gone by. Like, it is a serious undertaking, and it will be rough. It will be a thing that costs you, one way, shape, or form, because the world is not safe, and so on and so forth. And I feel like that jives really well with sort of the approach that he has with things like Ironsworn or whatever. So I feel like he can make that work and still balance it to be interesting as a solo thing, which is cool.
Yep.
Strider mode. Yeah.
I will say, eventually, we will undertake an expedition.
Yep.
Well, that would be cool.
I'm about to roll back into doing Delve the Depths thing in a solo Ironsworn thing, and I'm terrified. Yeah.
I love everything with the Delve expansion.
Yeah.
They're incorporating parts of that into this,
Which is great. Yeah. No.
because they as part of this. Speaking of, I don't think I've brought this up. Next Tuesday is when the Kickstarter for Ironsworn goes live.
The what now?
The Kickstarter to get the book printed for Starforged.
Starforged. You said Ironsworn. I'm like, it exists. Cool.
Sorry, the new expansion.
Very nice.
Well done. So, but part
Very
of the
cool.
thing that Sean's released is the so in Delve they have the two pieces that make up the Delve.
Yep.
The area and the theme.
Yep.
I want to say.
The theme and the
I don't
I can't
remember.
remember the other word, but yeah.
Yep. So funny story. A lot of those just continue to work as long as you reconceptualize them for space.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's also made a couple of new ones. So
So-
I have those.
The example is like, you decide what kind of site you're delving into, like an ancient fortress or an abandoned temple or a ruined
A theme and a domain.
theme in the domain. Like, what is the place, and then what's the theme of it? Abandoned, ancient, haunted, whatever.
A fortified cavern.
There you go. Whatever it happens to be. And that dictates then the tables that you roll on for what random shit's about to get dropped on my head, or, what kind of area do you end up in next,
Infested mine.
Yeah. I'm in an ancient fortress, I think.
I mean, you can never go wrong with ancient strongholds.
Hey, there you go. Stronghold. My problem was I was in it, and then a roll happened, and one of the NPCs demanded that I escort them back to safety, so I had to leave, and that resets a lot of my progress in the actual delve,
Yeah, but
which is annoying.
you can get some of it.
Yeah, I made it an extreme site, so
Well, that was your first problem.
yeah, I shouldn't have done that, but it is, so
Anything where you're not filling up at least one box is a slog.
yeah, and that definitely was what was going on there, so yeah.
Because you know what? When you're filling up at least one box and you've had enough and you've gotten 4 of them full, screw it. At that point, you've got a 50-50 shot of at least getting a weak hit.
Yeah. When I go back in, I'm staying in until I've got something I can take a shot at. So this is going to be a proper, yeah. I've got lots of stuff going in there, so we got going on in there, so it's fine. Anyhow,
Yep.
I should stop recording.
I need to do more solo Iron Sworn. It was fun.